So guys, I'm just going to start off with some simple questions. So can we just go down the line and state your name, major, and your year here at UNCW?
Okay, so my name is Alex Payton. I'm a sophomore and I'm a double major in public health and Spanish.
I am Christopher Neal. I am a junior here at UNCW and I major in creative writing I am trying to get my certificate in publishing.
And I am Mary Hull and I am a sophomore at UNCW and I'm studying communication studies.
So were you guys aware of the Black population rate when you guys came here? Because I was not.
Absolutely not. Oh, no. Okay, see, when I toured, I wasn't with like the student ambassadors or any of them. It was just like me and my friend, because we were already going to the beach and we just like popped up at Wilmington, like the school.
Yeah.
And so I, of course, like I did research about their majors and like programs because that's the main part, but I wasn't really focused on the demographics really because my high school is diverse in a sense and I had a diverse group of friends, so I kind of just went into it like, okay, it's probably going to be the same way, that's what I'm used to. And then I came and I was like, yeah, this is not it at all. Yeah.
Touring here, me and my parents, we would go around asking people, is the school diverse? Are there Black people here? And even we asked Black students, we asked even white students. They were like, no, the school is not diverse. So it's like everybody knew, but everybody didn't want to say anything about it. Or they knew and didn't really care. So, yeah.
I definitely knew about the lack of diversity at UNCW. Living in Wilmington, you kind of get a feel for it. The divide not only feels like a race divide, but at times kind of feels like a class divide too, where you see in places like a college campus or like in things that are considered more, access to money and things like that, because going to school is expensive, we all know that. But most of the time, the only time you see Black people around campus is people serving you food or people cleaning. And so I very much felt that when I was touring the school, knew that about the school from living in Wilmington, and it was a major, major negative that almost prevented me from coming to UNCW.
Let's talk about the first month. How was your first month here at UNCW?
Adjusting to coming to a PWI, which is a predominantly white institution, it was a shift. Even though I come from a background where my school may have been somewhat similar, it was way more diverse in this school. It was a cultural shock of sorts.
I feel like most people had a terrible orientation experience. I feel like that's kind of the consensus that I've got. I remember going to the diversity session during orientation and them asking a question about, is it okay for white people to say the N-word? And this one girl said that she wouldn't say the N-word because she didn't want to get shot. And I was like, oh, this is how it's gonna be, huh? So it was discouraging. And the first few months kind of felt like this is impossible to fix. Like this is beyond repair. And I was really just down on things. And it honestly caused me to isolate more than it inspired me to try to reach out at that time. So I do count that as one of my biggest regrets, was kind of just like feeling just like apathetic, or that it was beyond repair and I couldn't do anything about it.
It took me about 2 to 3 weeks to really be introduced to Upperman and just other Black students on campus. But towards the middle and end, if I wouldn't have gone, I probably still wouldn't be at this school.
Realizing that I am the only person of color in my classroom, or even in a dining hall, people would not come up to me to talk to me because I look different, or I didn't feel love. And that really affected me, and I knew it affected others. And my family is always a family that tends to bring people in no matter what creed you are. We are some loving people and a community aspect family. So that's why I decided to do my freshman year, to reach out to other Black students, because I feel like it just takes one person to say hello to change somebody's life.
Yeah.
And so coming into my sophomore year, I said, I got to do something. I got to, for my own sanity, just surround myself with people who aren't going to say offensive things constantly, or surround myself by a group of people who are supportive. And so definitely my first few months here, they sucked. But my recommendation to any freshman would be just to not feel, don't let the, people around you determine your own experience. You get to kind of create that path for yourself. So, yeah.
Being in that space really just allowed me to just feel more comfortable with the transition. I was in there pretty much all day. Like, if I wasn't in class, I would be in there, just making friends, talking, studying, just, fellowshipping with other people that looked like me. It felt really comforting to just be able to be myself and not be looked at just because, I stick out like a sore thumb, so it was nice.
On the flip side, so we can uplift a little bit, what do you guys enjoy about UNCW? I know that's hard after we just do that.
I feel like UNCW has given me an opportunity to grow. It's given me an opportunity to develop skills that I didn't really develop during high school, that I didn't try to develop or even care to develop. But coming here, I think I found a more profound passion for the Black community to strive and to work harder to bring us together. So that's me.
Yeah. I definitely learned how to advocate for myself, because sometimes if you have like those microaggressions, or you have people constantly saying things in front of you, it's easy to just kind of sit there and internalize it or not stick up for yourself in any way. But I've definitely learned to not accept those things, and to, for the betterment of my own self-esteem, and also to not let this happen maybe to someone else, just say, hey, that's not okay, or this is what you should be saying, or you can improve this by saying this. Just like doing what I can to make sure that in some way I feel like I'm helping. So I've learned how to like stand up for myself, which has definitely helped me. But at UNCW, I have found really close friendships of people of like all different backgrounds, even though like, Black people are harder to come by here. I've made really close connections with a lot of people of color on campus, and those friendships are really valuable.
I think for me, I've learned how to just be more independent. Also have grown a lot more confidence, just because when I'm trying to figure out how to maneuver, like being out of school like this, it's like it kind of teaches you to like have to be confident in a sense when you're put in a lot of situations. So not even just speaking from a person of color of what it's like or what I like, it's just more of like I like how the school has allowed me to just become a more independent person, gain more confidence, and to force myself to like reach out to people and make connections with people I never thought that I would. So yeah, that's what I like about the school so far.
if you were chancellor for a day, what would you do, change at UNCW? You have free reign. What would you plan to do? What's that power?
That's a very interesting question, which I have answers for, but let me think.
What would I would do a lot. Where do I begin?
So with not only implementing a lot more diverse spaces, but really focusing more on inclusion. In this school, we talk about diversity and we just throw the word around, but inclusion is also really important because you can have all these diverse spaces targeted for this group of people, but if you're not doing anything to have these spaces work together, whether it be with each other or the majority, that's not being inclusive. So is it still really diverse just because you have a cultural center? How is this cultural center, or how is this university allowing this cultural center to, use this space to bring themselves and be included in the majority population,
I would listen to the students of color and their struggles and actually care, and not just care about the numbers and the statistics. I would actually put effort forward to listen to their concerns and actually follow through with that, and actually admit more students and admit more programs that are targeted towards students of color that they will be attracted to, and not just say that diversity comes from study abroad, which he does. So that's the T.
I think that I would also not only have more cultural centers for other areas, because I feel like a lot of times everything is so black and white, literally, when there's so many other different races that are left out, like the fact that we don't have barely 1% of Pacific Islanders, we have like 2-3% Asian, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So also being more aware of other ethnic groups and giving them a space as well, and enhancing the ones we already have, and then just being more inclusive, and just instead of saying we're diverse, okay, so then now what are you doing with it? That's what I would focus on. And then as far as admitting more students of color, you cannot just invite more students of color if you don't already have a safe space, because you are being harmful to them, you know what I'm saying? So if you are not doing anything to make the space that you have already safe and opening it up, it's being more harmful to the students that you're trying to let in, because it's not a safe space already. It's actually more harmful to them. So I would do more with what we already have, rather than just inviting more and having more of the same problems.
Instead of focusing on growing the student population and making sure that we're accommodating more students, being meaningful in the students that we do accept, and making sure those students are from diverse backgrounds, and we're not creating a system where students of color don't have the access to UNCW in the way that white students may, because there are other UNC schools that are way more diverse than us, so there's something that UNCW is doing wrong. It's not just black students aren't applying, or that black students wouldn't love to come to UNCW and get to experience going to school on the beach and being a part of our great programs like marine bio and all these different things. It's just that the university doesn't put enough effort forward to make sure that black students are welcomed at our university. And so I don't blame students who see this school and say, I can't come here because there's not enough people like me. I say, more power to you, because in the end, it's, for some people, really just not worth feeling every single day like you're an outsider to get a degree. So if they can change that environment, more students of color will want to come here, and more students of color will feel comfortable to attend. So if I were the chancellor, I would work on initiatives to make sure that we're accepting more students of color, and doing outreach to communities that are underrepresented currently, to make sure that they're coming to our university and feel welcome.
The university, they love to have their little speckles of diversity. They're like, ooh, we have a cultural center here, and we have this cultural center. Aren't we so diverse? And that's not diversity. That is literally pinning us up in a art museum saying, hey, look at this art piece. It's exotic, isn't it? And it's a fascination with the exotic, that's a whole nother thing. So
you feel like they just pin up just the little things and not really expand on what would better students of color here at UNCW.
Yeah.
And how do you see yourself, you're only a sophomore,
Yeah.
so how do you see yourself leaving your legacy here at UNCW?
So with being Black Student Union president, with that being the oldest Black org on campus, the work that you do as a president is important, and whether you know it or not, people are always looking at you. I really do appreciate the work that Alexis did, and so every person that comes before you, you're planting a seed for it to grow after you. So I might not be seeing the work and how much impact I am putting on people right now, but when I leave and when I come back, or if I, when I come back and I hear, I heard you were president this year and I heard all the things you're doing or what you did, so it's that type of thing of just knowing that it's not about seeing the results now. You're building the foundation so that when you come back, everything will be built and you just get to appreciate that you took part of that. And so that's just what I want to just leave behind, is just to leave behind good work and that can be reflected on. And even if there are some things that can be changed, as long as, something is being done about it to improve over time, that's all I really care about.
I think that in leaving UNCW, I really want to make sure that I did everything I could to make sure that I left it, a better place than I found it, type of thing. And while that might sound corny, being a tour guide on campus, it really is something that I do because I believe in the betterment of this university. And so in giving tours to prospective students and letting them know that, hey, Upper Mid exists and it's a great place and these are the organizations that are run through there. That is something that I feel like is a part of my duty as a student here, is to let future students know their resources, and so that when they come to this university, they're equipped with the toolkit to make it better. And so if everyone continues to promote diversity on campus and not in just a, let's say diversity or have a token Black person at this event or host this and that, like actually putting, action forth to make our university more accommodating to Black folks, I think that when it comes down to it, if I continue to do what I can through giving tours to people and making sure the diversity is something that is actually being promoted on our campus in a meaningful way, then I'll feel that I did something important.
I think the biggest thing about a legacy is you have to pass it on.
Yeah.
And I think just giving what I know and kind of mentoring freshmen and sophomores of what I know and what I've experienced, and just pass the torch along to say, hey, if you need me, I'm here. Even after I graduate, to still support this school, to still see that legacy grow and develop.
The university, is trying to grow, but at the same time, it's really the students doing the work. But even though it's really kind of up to us in a sense, there's only so much that we can do as students, and it shouldn't be up to us. We don't get paid for this. I'm not getting paid to and that's fine, but at the same time understand that I'm doing this because I care about it, and because I am doing it just because I care about it, y'all are the one that's getting paid to actually do it, so y'all need to do more, you know what I'm saying? And don't put it on the backs of students to do the work for y'all, because like I said, I'm just a student at the end of the day, and I shouldn't have to feel like I have to be Black and excellent all the time. You know what I'm saying? So having that support, just more of it from whoever's ahead of it at the university, just do it,
Yeah.
Seeing a professor that looks like me can really impact my life. Growing up, I did not have a lot of teachers who looked like me. And in college, I had one of the most impactful African-American male teachers, and his name is Sean Palmer, and he changed my life forever. And to see someone, he's not in the field that I want to study, but to see someone who looks like me in the field that I want to be in is an inspiration, because in our culture, African Americans are already put on the back burner, but to see someone who looks like me achieving and doing what I want to do, that is inspiring.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't even be a thing of, oh, we can't find the people. There are people out there. You just have to look, and you have to put that effort to look, and you have to care. And obviously this university has shown they do not care. No offense.
Not
the tea
to
has
me.
been spilled.
I think that's all the questions we have. Is there anything else you want to say?
I guess I would just, to all freshmen who are interested in coming to UNCW, if you end up hearing this in some way, I would just recommend to you that there are resources out there for you, and if UNCW is your dream school, don't let this be a deterrent to you. Let this be something that you're aware of and you prepare for, but there are resources for you, and if you're Black, spend time in the Upper Mid African American Culture Center because you'll find your family there.